Hello everyone, the Klaus here, and today guys I'm going to review a Bionicle playset released in 2006, and it's going to be the Piraka Stronghold. So here we go. Of course, it's the bigger set of it's the bigger playset of 2006, and here's the box. So of course, apart from the playset, which I'm gonna explain later on in this review, you have the different logos and stuff like that. So of course, a traditional box. But of course, because it's a big set, you can open the front of the box, which will show you the playset on a blend background to show you all the different gimmicks in a close-up shot and stuff like that. So really interesting to understand how the set works and stuff like that. And then on the bottom, we're gonna have all the minifigs included, because you might remember that in the 2005 playset we got like all the figures in all the playsets. Here it's not the case anymore, because in 2006 the minifigs are more articulated, and so for example in the smallest playset you're just gonna have 4 minifigs. So that's nice to know that. And of course here, because it's the bigger playset, we're gonna have all the figures included. But of course I'm gonna show you them in this review. And also you have to notice that this review is going to be in 2 parts, because it's a big playset. So in this first part I'm just going to review all the figs and accessories and this Piraka's head. Move on to the top part, which shows you a 1:1 picture scale toward Jala. And then on the back you're gonna have not really all the playset released, because there is a 4th one, but it was a special edition, and you might know that the special edition set don't show up in the official pictures. In fact, so here there is just the 3 official playsets, if I can say so. So the Piraka Outpost, Savage Chamber Gate, and the Piraka Stronghold, all shown on volcano landscape, of course, with some lava paths. So it's really nice to see how all these playsets are placed. It can be useful for the storylines and for the overall playability. And of course the volcano is here on the island of Voya Nui. That said, just let's move on to the little alternative model shown here. Once again, all the minifigs and also all the weapons included into this set. Let's move on quite quickly with the instruction booklets. So just one in this set. So nothing really to talk about. You have some instructions, obviously, the parts list on 2 pages, and then all the sets. The same picture with the volcano inside and stuff like that. And the advertisement, and the last half for the Bionicle website and the Bionicle game, of course, which will be Bionicle Heroes. And that said, let's move to the set, and first the minifigs. So like I said, they are a little more articulated than their 2005 counterparts, because of course, if you remember, the 2005 minifigs in the Bionicle playset where they were just one mold with no articulations at all. And here it's going to change. And of course, I did not mention that earlier, but what is a Bionicle playset? It's really simple. It's the Bionicle universe with system bricks. So of course, the scale is a lot smaller than your usual Bionicle sets. That said, let's move on. So first with the legs, all the characters are going to use this legs mod. You can also see that the 2 legs are put in 1 mod. This means you can't move the legs independently, so the only point of connection is here. We will now link the body, which once again will be used by all the guys, but of course in different colors each time. Well, not each time, but when needed. Then we're gonna link the arms, which are some bots arms from as you may have seen them in the Exoforce sim, also released in 2006. And then finally the part which will be unique to each figure is the head, of course. So here it's Piraka's Akan head. I guess you can recognize it quite easily. And also all the figs got a back on their all back in their head, but just the Pirakas use them to link in fact this type of tentacle part, which will be used as their back spikes, as of course featured in their Bionicle canister size counterpart. And here we go with Akan. So before I attach his weapon, I'm just going to show you the articulation. So of course you got a point of rotation right there, because the legs cannot, well, of course, well, the legs cannot turn, but at least you got a point of rotation on the waist part. Then you got 2 points of rotation per arm, because of course you can turn the shoulder and also you can turn the hand. And finally, 1 point of articulation on the head. That said, like that. That said, here's the weapon. So the weapons featured in this set, well, featured in every playset, are not the same weapon used by their canister-sized canister-sized counterpart. So there are new weapons. So some of them are cool and some of them are not really cool. Also, one thing to notice is that you can put the weapon like that, but you can also put it like that. And it will be quite useful for some weapons, in fact. But we're gonna see that right now with all the figs. So that was Akan. Let's move on to the other Piraka's minifigs. So let's move with Havak first, which is a perfect example of a weapon which do not look like a weapon at all. So even if you try to put it on his hands, it still looks like quite weird. But apart from that, the head is quite well crafted. You can really notice that it's Havak with his big head and stuff like that. And of course, like I said, all the other parts are the same except for the colors, at least here for the arm, because of course the armor is the same. Let's move on to Vezok. So I'm just going to show them quickly because of course it will take too much time to go in detail. And I know that some of my viewers are really impatient, so I can understand that. Vezok, which with really a nice big hammer right there. The worst of all, it's Zaktan, not because of his design, well, its design is quite cool, but because of his weapon, which just looks like a spring, so I do not really understand the purpose of this weapon, or how it works at all, in fact. But I'm sure it will be quite useful for mockers if they want to add some more details to their Bionicle weapons. And finally, Thor with his, of course, white queen color, so specific to him, and a nice kind of look like a sword chainsaw. That said, let's move on to the Inika. So of course they do not have the back spike anymore. Still they got some unique weapons. And here it's Jaller, which just look totally done with a big smile. So I do not really, well, at least it's close to its Bionicle counterpart, but it doesn't really look good. Then Yuki, once again, really an head really close to the original one. Alice then. And now let's move on to New Power, which once again got a nice axe, and it's all in black also. So for those who like this part, for example, it can be quite useful. Yes, then it's Kongu, which still got its asymmetrical aspect, and here, for example, you got the perfect example of the weapon that should be used like that, because it's a bow, and you can't, well, it looks like a bow at least, and if you put this like that, well, it just looks plain weird. So, well, that's how this works. And finally, before we move on to the different accessories of this set, Matoro, which looks pretty good, and got a nice saw, so it seems. And that's also, you have still to admit that you got like 12 minifigs in this set. So of course, they are not your usual minifigs with print and stuff like that, but I do not know that many sets or that many big Lego sets which got as much minifigs. So of course, I'm sure they exist because this past years Lego have already put minifigs in bigger sets, but I still think that 12 figs in one set is quite incredible. And of course, here it's not like the 2005 playset with just one fig with one mold. No, here they are fully articulated except for the legs. They all got different weapons and heads. So seriously, really nice minifigs, pretty well detailed, and well, apart from the weapons which sometimes just look plain weird, I think that these are pretty nice minifigs. So that's been done. Now let's move on to the different accessories and little stuff of this set. So first, it's this turret, only made with Bionicle parts, so there is nothing really to talk about. You're gonna have a Piraka foot, then the T-shaped part used here, then the Ordica neck. For those who are not aware of what is an Ordica neck, well, it's quite simple. It's just a part with some axle hole and a ball joint. Then connector, and finally the Zama launcher. And how it works, for those who do not know this piece, well, it's very simple. You're gonna use a flexible axle right there, and a normal hard one, and this light gray part. Of course, the flexible axle goes through this part. And well, thanks to the soft plastic used right there, we're going to be able to do that and to launch what? To launch this Zama ball without any problems. And of course, because it's mounted on ball joints, well, you can move this all the way around, up, down, and on the sides without any problems. But still, it's I think it's quite big in comparison to the overall minifig, if you want my opinion. Even if on the box it just shows you some guys taking the thing like that, but well, it still looks quite it still looks bigger than your usual minifigs. That said, let's move on to the Kongus Surf. Well, Kongus one, it's not really his surf, but at least that's the guy we see on it on the box. So it's made with some plates, but in a cross shape. We're gonna have these jet reactors on the sides. Then we're gonna use a link to these clips. We're gonna use this spear, which were used on the Bionicle playset from 2005, so it's quite nice to see this part again. Then we're gonna have this sloped curved brick, what used right there, so of course, like that. It will be linked on the front, and then we're gonna link this part on the back. Because yes, you have to know that these minifigs, of course, they are not like the traditional one. The space between their feet are of 3 studs and not just 2. This means when you want to link these figs, you have to link them on the sides and then move on their waist like that. Because of course they will not hold in this position. Well, they can, but it looks quite ugly and it's not supposed to be put in this way. So that was a Kongus Surf. Really simple, but at least I think it works just fine. Like that. And I'm going to put the accessories on the back for now. Now let's move on to the excuse me, let's just me search the word for that, but I think I got it in my head quite quickly. Oh yes, a cart. Yeah, I think that's all. Yes, so let's move on to the cart or the wagon, or call this whatever you like. So the cart is here. So well, of course you're gonna have to link your rail next on, but still it's made quite simply with this plate part. Then we're gonna use this part with pinholes, of course, to link the wheels. The rest of the set is pretty simple. We're gonna use some slope bricks. The color scheme is mostly black, dark gray, silver, light gray, with some touch of dark red, which is the only really unique color in this element of the set. And then, as you can see, we're gonna use these bricks with axle holes first to link the 2 masks on the side, which gives a nice shape to the overall model. And also we're gonna use a third brick like that to link this axle, which will be useful to attach the cart to the speeder Y. And apart from that, you can see that we're gonna once again use some parts from the 2005 Bionicle playset. And I think that's quite all for this part. Now I just have to link the wheels. So of course it really look like some castle-like wheels. Well, it's a cart, not a car, so that explains a lot, I think. So like that, and now let's move on to the Y. So of course, also you can notice that we're gonna have a space of 3 studs. So like I said, to link the minifig on the side, like that. And so let's move on to the Y, or animal, if you do not really know Bionicle, which is really a simple spider. So it's made with just Bionicle parts, and Technic parts, of course. So we're gonna use this Technic beam right there. Then on this Technic beam, we're gonna link 2 double connectors, which will be useful, of course, to link the 4 legs. The legs are just made with an Ordicannec and then a Visoactive, and that's all. Then we're gonna use a second Technic beam to link once again the 2 connectors together. Notice that on this double connector we're going to link this part with the wed horn used as some teeth right there. And well, that's quite all. Now I just have to link the head, if I can say so, because in fact it's just another jammer launcher which will be linked right there thanks to this part on the back. And as you can see, it's the same as this one, except this part with the studs on the top, which will be useful later on. But for now, just let me link this like that. So of course you got one point, you got 1 bulgeon per legs in terms of articulations, and also you can turn this the way you want. Like that, it'll turn around. And then you got a pin right there, and you got a pin also, and quite obviously, I'm going to link these 2 parts together. This adds another point of rotation if you want this to move on the side. And now let's just add the final element, a little dark red chain. Which will be linked like that. So you can't really move the legs because of course then the cart do not touch the ground anymore. And one last part which is included with this stuff is this whip. So to whip the Y, I guess. And here we go with the cart plus of course the Y at the other end. And if you want a little comparison size, here we go. That said, let's move on to not the last, but another element of this set, which is the gate, the main hunter for the Piraka Stronghold, because as you will notice, this set is not like the Battle of Metunui playset. It's well, the Battle of Metunui playset was really blocky, really a big building with bricks and stuff like that. Here, it's a little more. Not all the parts are really attached together. It's more like use your imagination to make the limits of the playset, and that's the one of the prime example of this. It's this independent gate, which I'm going to explain why it's there. So it's really made in a simple way. We're going to use some plates. Then notice there's bricks with hinge, which are quite useful to link the other walls on both sides, right there. Then you're going to notice also there's bricks with a clip directly molded into the brick, which will be useful to link the doors of the gate itself. Notice the arc part right there. Nothing really to explain, I think. And then you got another part like that with a hinge to make it stronger. And for the walls themselves, well, there was nothing really to talk about because we're going to use a big wall part. And then just on the side, notice this part with an axle hole. And that's quite all. You can notice the details like the little teeth and flames, but apart from that, that's all you have to know about this part of the set. So now I'm going to link the doors of the gate. So really nice and pretty well detailed. I think they were released before in some Knight Kingdom set or that stuff of castle sets. So of course I'm going to link this part on the clips I showed you earlier, And well, now that's all, and you can open them the way you want, or close them, so yeah, you can do whatever you want with that. It's just some doors. And then this part right here, in fact, Lego decided to make these things longer to block more space, to block the hunter. So to make that really in a simple way, they just decided to add one part, and it's a Bionicle part. It's this Lewa Nuvas Katanas. And well, you just have to link this on the axle all, and that's all. You now got a longer walls. Well, at least because of course, as you can see in terms of comparison size, the guy can easily bypass this stuff. And of course, in terms of articulations or rotation point, well, you can open or close the gates, like I said, and then you got, of course, the hinge, which allows you to choose the way you want to put the walls and gates. So, for example, if you want really a straight wall, you can do that. If you want something a little more on the side, you can do this. And if you just want like a corridor like that, well, you can also make this the way you want. So, I think that's all. Going to link that on this side. Well, not link that, but put this on the side. And that said, I'm going now to talk about the last element I'm going to show you in this first part of my review on the Piraka Stronghold, and it's going to be the big Piraka's head. Right here. So, it's quite like the Toalikan's mask in the Battle of Metron playset. It's made in kind of little soft plastic, as you can see, and all the points of connections are just pinholes. There is no studs or stuff like that. It's just pinholes techniques. So of course the inside is quite empty apart from the points of connection. And let's link something to this point of connection. So first, the two ones on the front, so of course it's just some pins put in pinholes. So first I'm going to link these steps right there, which are just made with some simple bricks. That's all. Now let's move on to the more interesting part of the head, is the teeth, which looks like that. So it's all techniques once again. We're gonna use this L-shaped technique beams to link the teeth to the head, so they are not really a part of the teeth system. What is a part of this system is more like this teeth-shaped part, and then this hinge part, which will allow you to open or close the mouth. And then when it's really simple, we're gonna use some more bricks, axles to link this long axle. And on that, we're gonna attach all the teeth-shaped part plus teeth, and you can also see that we're gonna have to put some teeth right there, thanks to this part. And that's quite all. I think the image talks for itself. It's quite easy to understand how it works. Well, that's all. And also, of course, you have to notice that it's a strange white color because, of course, these parts are glow in the dark. So now I'm just going to link the L-shaped part right there. And here we go. So of course now I can move the mouth up or down, so you can move it down like that. So that's all you can do, because as you can see, these plastic parts are blocked by the mask configuration right there. It's blocked by the mask's shape. But then of course you can also open it like that. And I think that's quite all for that, guys. And yeah, so that was the head. And now I think that's all. So I'm just going to first put the minifigs on their stuff to show you just how it looks like, and then I'm going to finish this review. So well, first let me take Kongo. So like I said, we're going to link this guy on the side, and then you can turn the waist and the head to make it look straight ahead. Like that. Then we're gonna link a key on this stuff, so link the whip, and once again linking, I'm going to link him on the side like that, and I think that's quite all. And now I just have to put all the minifigs, and that will be all for this first part of the Piraka Stronghold review, guys. So if you want a little sum up about the different elements I've reviewed, well, there is really nothing to talk about, because most of these elements are not perfect, far from that, in fact. So all of them are quite okay, but not really good. For example, well, the turret is nice, but it's all made of Bionicle parts. It's not really original in terms of construction, and like I said, it seems a little oversized in comparison to the minifig. Then you got the surfboard. I think is quite original, and I think that's one element which works pretty nice. Then you got the cat. The cat itself is okay, but the way it seems a little well. This way, well, it's just summer launchers on legs, that's all. So it's original and all, but I do not know why. I'm not really interested in this type of vehicle, if I can say so. So it's original and all, but I think they could have done better. Then you got the gate and the wall. I really like the design of the gate and stuff like that, but still the walls are maybe too simple in terms of design, and the fact that they just add some Bionicle parts to make some longer walls just make it look like rushed, in my opinion. So at least it works, and of course it's cost less than to make a bigger walls, but I don't know, it just seemed totally rushed. And then you got the head, which is okay, but I think they could have added maybe some little more details on the steps, or for example, you can also see pretty clearly all the frame of the teeth on the back, so that is a little problem, I have to admit. Oh, excuse me, I have put Ali here. And I think that's also all the elements works okay, but it's not like they are unforgettable, if I can say so. So yeah, there is some ideas and all, but well, they are not the most important element of the set, but they are still a part of it. So of course you have to consider that. But of course, I'm going tomorrow to show you, excuse me, the real element of the playset, so the 2 towers. Of course, it's going to be a little more complex and interesting. And then, of course, I will do a final sum up to say if the set, of course, is good or not, or stuff like that. But still, that's all for my first part of this review. Hope you enjoy it, guys. If you have any comments or questions, excuse me, feel free to post them in the comments section of this video. And that said, see you tomorrow for the second part, and also see you later for another video reviews. Bye bye.